Here we go. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Sierra Gillette, and I am part of the Campus Ambassador Leadership Team. This is my second year as a Campus Ambassador and my first year on the leadership team. And I am here with 4 amazing Campus Ambassadors we have. We have Godsway, Gato, Tanisha, and Adam. And I'm just going to be talking to them today a little bit about who is a Campus Ambassador and their choice at Thunderbird and Campus Ambassadors. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I'll start with you, Godsway. Why did you decide to come to Thunderbird?
Yeah, thank you, Sierra. So prior to joining Thunderbird, I have already had a master's in supply chain management, but I was more interested in gaining knowledge in the use of the fourth industrial revolution technologies to solve critical supply chain problem in emerging economies. So I began looking into different programs that could provide me exactly what I needed. So even though I did a lot of secondary research on my own, I decided to focus more on primary research and look at students who are already taking some of these courses and see what they think about the program. So I happened to actually talk to a lot of alumni from Thunderbird and hearing their opinion about the programs in Thunderbird. So hearing from all of those students who actually happens to be former CAs, I decided to join Thunderbird and then also joining the CA team as well and preaching that same knowledge to prospective students who want to come to Thunderbird.
Great, thank you. Tanisha, what about you? Why did you decide to come to Thunderbird?
So I have 3 reasons. First is the ranking. So as we know that ASU has like a #1 ranking in innovation. And also about Thunderbird, I would say it was one of the top schools for international business. So that was one of the reasons. Another is diversity. I feel we have like a diverse group, the student body, like people have come from all the different places. And I felt like apart from learning in class, I would get to learn more even with being around people from different cultures. And third for me would be GCL, which I realized is an applied learning course. So I realized that there's so much learning in Thunderbird, which is why I kind of opted to come to Thunderbird.
Great, thank you. Adam, why did you decide to come to Thunderbird?
When I was studying international cinema and filmmaking at ASU, I came across some advertising for Thunderbird. Thought it would be interesting to consider. Didn't think much else of it until I met a current Thunderbird on a shuttle ride home, and her enthusiasm for the program was quite disparate from anything I had seen from other master's students at ASU. So I wondered what that magic was. Looked a bit more into Thunderbird. Sogol Humayun provided an incredible amount of information into the program to the point that I felt that I would be a fool to deny myself such an opportunity to attend here. So that's really what brought me into it. It was something that was unique amongst all business schools.
That's great. And Gato?
Yeah, so my experience is very similar to what everyone already mentioned, but just the pure diversity and representation of many different countries in our school is just amazing. That and the Thunderbird mystique, we talk about it all the time. It's definitely real. All the alumni are so happy to have gone to Thunderbird, and they are so cooperative and they help out. And that's something that I feel like is very unique to Thunderbird as well.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. That was one of the things in our foundations that I really connected with Professor Javidan when he talked about the mystique. So I definitely agree. So Tanisha, we'll start this question with you. Why did you decide to join the Campus Ambassadors?
So as I was applying for Thunderbird, I wanted to know more about how the student experience is, how people are learning in Thunderbird and they are just casual experience. And I felt like having somebody who could, give me an insider story and view of the life here. And I happened to talk to one of the ex-CAs, and she kind of helped me understand the lifestyle here and everything. So I felt like being a CA so that I can contribute to the school and help somebody else experience the same thing and to be there for somebody else, which is why I decided to join the CA.
Great, thank you. What about you, Adam?
So my career coach, Angelique Tatum, greatly pushed me towards the CAs early on because I had expressed that I want to do marketing and storytelling, but I feel like I'm too much of an introvert to be successful at that. So she said that if there's one club on the campus that you're going to market and your storytelling is going to serve you well, you should really look into the campus ambassadors. And then working with the leadership at the time kind of helped me understand that any Thunderbird could be an ambassador, but really owning that and being able to contribute to Thunderbird at all times whilst a student is really something that is like an honor. And it was something that I felt like, well, I want to be a part of that too. I want to be able to do what that Thunderbird did for me on that bus ride that got me to think about the program seriously. Just share my story, and it's a wonderful program. You should seriously consider it. That was what really inspired me to join the Campus Ambassadors.
Great, thank you so much, Adam. Kato, why did you decide to become a CA?
So the very first thing that comes to mind is the current CAs that were at the beginning of my time at Thunderbird were the most amazing, nicest, coolest people I've ever met in my entire life. And they kind of just reeled me in. That, and also I really care about the student experience, and I really care about sharing that experience with others. And that's kind of at the basis of being a CA.
Yeah, I agree. God's Way, what about you?
Yeah, my story is kind of similar to everybody's story. So I value primary research a lot, and I see the CA to be that source of primary research information for Thunderbird. And so coming to Thunderbird, as I'd already mentioned, I got a lot of my information from CAs. So even though similar to Adam, I'm very introvert and I don't like speaking in public a lot. But within my first few weeks at Thunderbird, one of the former CAs actually reached out to me that I think you'll be a great fit to be part of the CA team, so I should apply. I thought of it and I decided to apply. And seeing how I'll be able to use the knowledge I've gained from Thunderbird and explain that to someone else to make a life-changing decision, I think that was one of the things that's actually impacted me greatly to apply for this program.
Yeah, I think it's great that we all, had a pivotal kind of moment where we made the decision, whether it was based on career coaches or current CAs or students or whoever was, admissions anywhere along the way. We had that final defining moment of this is what I want to do, and here we are. So that's really, really great. So Adam, what does being a CA mean to you?
It means knowing that you are able to change someone's life through your stories. You're able to reach out where other people would be uncomfortable making contact with a stranger and telling them about an experience you've had that has changed your life. And you genuinely believe that if they were to experience that same thing, they too would have the same enthusiasm, the same optimism, the same global outlook that you've learned to attain. So it's being responsible for, but enthusiastic about taking opportunities to change people's lives.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. Gato, what does being a CA mean to you?
To me, being a CA is basically what Adam said, is making an impact in other people's lives and prospective students' lives, and then sharing a genuine connection with them, and not just to get them to come to the school, but to share your experience and the wonderful things that you've had, that you've experienced at Thunderbird.
Thank you so much. God's Way?
Yeah, so for me, being a CA, it doesn't only mean being the outward-facing team of Thunderbird, but personally, I think it also means helping someone make a life-changing decision for themselves. So meeting prospective students, trying to learn about Thunderbird and presenting the authentic Thunderbird to them, both the good and the bad, and having those students make that choice for themselves. So for instance, I met a young lady during the Spring 2020 Premier Day who was trying to learn about Thunderbird. So I just told them my authentic story about Thunderbird, what I think of Thunderbird and the experience I've had so far joining Thunderbird. And this fall, she decided to join Thunderbird from those experiences. So to me, that's what being a CA means.
Wow, that's amazing. And thank you so much for bringing her on board, definitely. So Tanisha, what does being a CA mean to you?
I think I agree with all the three of them. And I feel it's a very important role. Like, you are the face of the institution. And being a CA, I feel like it's a huge responsibility because you're filling the gap between the school and the prospective student. So it really means a lot to me because you are trying to, like Godsway said, like trying to change somebody's life and put them in the right direction. So this is what CA means to me.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So I have one final question for all four of you, and we'll start with Gato. So Gato, how has being a CA during the pandemic changed from last year when we were in person?
Yeah, so I guess I'm just going to emphasize like the mode in which we operate. So before we could meet in person with prospective students and talk with them at, say, like a pub night, whatever it may be. And now everything's virtual. So Zoom, phone calls, our avenues are different, but everything that we say, everything that we do, it still functions the same way. And we can still have a genuine connection, even if it's through Zoom.
Great, thank you. Godsway, how's it changed for you?
Yeah, well, that's very funny because I joined the CA team in February and everything closed down in March. So one of the things I was actually looking forward to is taking prospective students around campus, showing them places. So that was one thing I was looking forward to. And one of the most important events I happened to attend during being a CA is the Premier Day. And having that connection, personal face-to-face connection with people, I think that was one of the things that I cherish or I value. But moving everything to online, I don't think it feels the same. Personally, I'm not enjoying the Zoom live, honestly. I like the one, even though I'm introverted, but I like the one-on-one experience with people. But we are trying everything possible to keep the Thunderbird goal moving forward, keep talking to people about Thunderbird. So I think we are still doing that even with the pandemic, using all the tools and resources we have available to us.
Yeah, I know Zoom is definitely a lot harder than being in person, but we're doing everything we can. So Tanisha, I know you came on board with us during the full-blown pandemic when we were 100% online. So how is that different than what you thought it would be, similar to what, Godsway's answer?
Yeah, I feel that I have missed that part of like being a CA in person. But over the time, like I still feel like as there are so many events that we all are taking part in, I still feel like we are connected and we are getting to learn so much and like interact with the prospective students online, which is also making a change. So I feel it has been a good experience for me, even though it was online.
Well, that's great to hear. And Adam, last but not least, how has being a CA changed during the pandemic?
I think Godsway's observation for the previous question, where CAs aren't necessarily just an outward-facing organization, has become even more true when we shifted online. I think the CAs have evolved to not only address outward digitally, but also become a bit more of like a cohesive force within the Thunderbird community. So like at CMC events and club events, it's usually CAs who are signing on first. And I can only imagine that feels good for the faculty, that feels good for the people who work so hard to set up these virtual events for the Thunderbirds, to see this very quick and rapid commitment from the CA team. And we're inspiring our peers to come on board. Hey, Zoom's tough, but this event's going to be really cool. Like just one more hour, you're going to love it. And they usually do, but we're there to help them build that enthusiasm and kind of stick with it and keep going.
That's great. And I completely agree. I think all of us have had completely different experiences wherever we're at in the world right now, wherever we're at, you know, doing school from home or doing school from libraries or on campus when we can and things like that. And so it's definitely great to have a group of CAs who's going to be there. Like you said, Adam, who's going to be the first ones in the meeting, who's going to be rallying the troops. And like everyone else mentioned, who's really going to be talking to prospective students, giving them the opportunities that we had, even if it's virtual, you know, and really being able to still bring students. I mean, that's amazing, God's Way, that you were able to personally bring a student to campus during a pandemic. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than the CAs really reaching out and working together. So I definitely appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for taking our time to tell us who is a CA, and we definitely appreciate it.